Right, and we should now be live. Good evening, everybody. Bear with me, let me just sort out a few things here, and we will get started. Let's put that in performance mode. Let's tag folks. There we go. Excellent. Well, good evening, everyone. To those of you who are watching, and if you're watching this after the event, hello. And welcome to not the usual Sunday Triclaw stream, but this is a Wednesday stream. I thought I'd better do one in the week since we haven't really done much Jurassic World lately, and I kind of want to try and do a stream every in the week, on the weekdays for February, just to try to get us up to that 1,000 subs by March 5th target, which we're not doing too well at getting to, but hopefully we'll get there. Let me just open my drink. Incoming ASMR. If I can get my nails under it. Ah, there we go. Lovely. So, this park is, if I just zoom out, the beginnings of a Walking with Dinosaurs inspired park. And I've already done sort of some basic building just to get some things organized. This is the... I think it's the California map, because those are supposed to be the Yosemite, I don't know how you pronounce it, mountains. But yeah, so the idea is to build a park based off Walking with Dinosaurs, and basically I've done the first episode area down here, the Triassic episode. I've got some of the second episode ready and a little bit of the third episode ready, as you can see, and I've already laid out where the next episodes of this are going to go. Hello, Rob. So obviously episode 3 is going to be sort of here, and then we're going to have episode 4, 5, 6, and then any of the specials as well we'll have over here, and we'll do something with this gap over here. I'm thinking some sort of statue park or something. Now, we can't do a complete Walking with Dinosaurs park because unfortunately we don't have all of the species from Walking with Dinosaurs in the game. So what we will do is replace the ones which we're missing with ones that are similar. And I've also gotten a complete list here of the skins that most match the skins that we saw in Walking with Dinosaurs. So you can see I've already got the Coelophysis in the park down here. And I've tried to go for, where's the male? Those are females. Where's a male? There you go. So I've gone for the skin that most closely represented the skin that it had in Walking with Dinosaurs, which was basically green with a tan belly and sort of yellow striping. Now obviously we don't have the exact same skin, but this is as close to it as we could probably get with what we have available. And that's basically what we're going to do with all of the dinosaur skins. We're going to get it as close as we can. And as you can see, I've already started a little bit. We've got a nice little entrance area over here. I thought I'd recreate a scene from episode 2 of episode 3, sorry, of Walking with Dinosaurs, where the Liprodon bursts out of the water and catches the Eustripta spondylus off the edge. I thought I'd recreate that for a little opening scene. And yeah, we're just gonna go from there. You can see I've already got quite a lot of detail and decoration in the park already. And yeah, we're just gonna carry on. So basically, I'm at this point, I'm building up episode 2. So this is going to be our Ornitholestes enclosure here. And because we don't have Ornitholestes, I'm going to use the closest animal to it. So we're going to have Monolophosaurus in here. And then if we continue around this side, we've got I'm not sure what I'm doing at this end yet. This is just an idea. I'm leaving it to fester at the moment. This is going to be our first sauropod enclosure, which I'm probably going to put Diplodocus in, and potentially Brachiosaurus. And I wanted to give them something different. I have a nice statue fountain here for the area. I wanted to give them something different, so I've used the open air galleries from the lagoons, just because I think this makes more sense for viewing these dinosaurs, and to make it a bit more of a sort of spectacular exhibit. And then in here, flanked by these two Allosaurus statues, this is the Allosaurus. So I've tried to recreate sort of the initial gorge from episode 2, where we first meet the Allosaurus in that sort of confined area. So they're going to be living in here. And then we move onwards to the other exhibits. And at this end, I thought there'd be another exit from this area to episode 3. And these buildings come with a particular decorations mod. I just really like how they look. And I kind of imagine these are probably sort of educational buildings or something like that. I just love the sauropod statues. I thought they worked very well. So yeah, that's the plan. Thurizino says, I wish you could get mods on console. They really need to find a way to add it if it's possible. It is very difficult, Thuri. I'll tell you what the biggest problem is with moving mods onto consoles. While we do this, I'm going to put in the Placerius. They're going to go in here. Instead of Placerius, I'm going to use Lystrosaurus. I've made them some little signage here. And created a nice little enclosure for them. So the problem with adding mods to console is there's kind of 2 or 3 main problems. The first one is that consoles, even though they're a lot better now, they're still considerably behind the curve with hardware compared to a computer. My rig is substantially better in terms of its RAM and its graphics card than the PS5 or the current Xbox. And until they start meeting the sort of the same level as a PC, consoles will struggle with games that you can mod a lot in. I mean, my modded Skyrim playthrough probably takes up about 200 gigs in total on my hard drive, and when it's running, I think it devours about 17 gigs of my 32 gigs of RAM, and that's a console just cannot take that level of requirement. So that's the first problem. Hello, Matifna? Have I said that right? Matifna? Let me know. The second problem with consoles and modding is that, quite simply, consoles do not allow you to have as much control as a PC. You're not really allowed to access the operating system, you're not allowed to access the file directories, that sort of thing. And that's primarily because the console builders, Sony and such, they don't want you to be able to. They don't want, their secrets about how their consoles work to end up being spread around to competitors. So that's the second problem, the lack of control over file structure and such. And then the third problem is moderation of those mods. Even if Sony and Xbox accept modding, they would only ever allow mods to be downloaded for their consoles that met specific requirements. There's a crazy number of mods for Skyrim, I think. Somewhere in it's millions. There are millions of mods for Skyrim. Some of them quite questionable. Some of them quite adult. And the problem is, obviously, people like Sony and Microsoft and that, they wouldn't want those sorts of content on their platform. On a PC, nobody cares. There's not the sort of stigma. So that's the third problem. So there would need to be a lot of changes to the industry and console development before we could see widespread modding on consoles. I know there are some games, like I think there are some mods that you can get for Fallout 4 and Skyrim on console, but they are a very, very, very small number. And actually getting them even onto the console to be downloaded is, I've heard, quite a process. So I don't think many people develop specifically for it. Thank you. I always try and do, well, not always. Sometimes I do try to integrate the incubation area into the park. So basically, the aim here with this particular park is that sort of this is a staff-only area. These are, keeping an eye on who's coming in and going in. And I do like sort of combining the incubation area with a lagoon area. I just think it works, and you can kind of infer that maybe dinosaurs that are growing in the incubation area here use this as a water source. And if you have a lagoon animal in here, maybe this is used as a way of people being able to keep an eye on what's going on in here while the animal grows. That's the thinking behind it anyway. Yeah, on the PC, nobody cares. Exactly. Right, so in come our Lystrosaurus to make up for us not having a Placerius. Lystro does kind of work quite well as a replacement for Placerius because it's still a Triassic era animal. Just early Triassic as opposed to late Triassic. So it works well enough for this. And Monolophosaurus need to go in. Hello, something. I don't see many people making detailed staff areas in the game. That's kind of sad. I can see why they don't, though, because this is not the bit that people are interested in. The bit that people are actually interested in with these games is literally, just the animals. This is the bit that people are interested with the game. From my perspective, it's the dinosaurs, the animals. No one cares about much of the rest. There are some people like me and Evo that kind of care about the park and the experience of having a park. But I think we're in the minority compared to people who just want to see, one dinosaur kill another dinosaur with some stupid mental animation. Right, Monolophosaurus to replace the Ornitholestes. Now, I did struggle to find a appropriate skin for the Monolophosaurus to represent Ornitholestes, because in the series, it's got a sort of speckled black silver pattern with blue on it as well, so it's quite a complicated skin. I am still moderating for Evo Jacob. I'm part of her YouTube moderation team. So for the Monolopho, I found Svalbard, which is sort of the blackish, the speckled black that we got, and the Papurana, which adds blue to the face, similar to the Ornitholestes in the show. It's not obviously a perfect replica, but I think it will do. Wow, we got a really poor mix of Ornitholestes here. Obviously, Liplorodon will be replaced by Chronosaurus in the park, so we can have a Liplorodon design that's slightly closer to the Walking with Dinosaurs size. Are you going to have Pachyrhinosaurus in the park? No, we're not going based off of the film. We're going based off the TV show. But we are going to have the specials in here, including Tarbosaurus and Therizinosaurus from the special that Nigel Marvin was in. So we'll have those in the park. By the way, if you're curious about the paths, this is my sort of triclaw game. This is kind of what I experimented with a lot of the different path mods I've made. This one I think kind of gives you a nice mix between something that's quite different. You have a nice hexagonal pattern on the grey path. You have a nice colourful path based off the JPOG path, which you can use to accent particular areas like I've done here. And then you have quite a nice wooden panel path, which looks quite posh for your seating areas. I think it's a nice combination of different path types. I don't actually think this particular path pack is online, so if anyone is interested, I will put it on Nexus. Right, so in goes our first dinosaur. So this is our replacement for Ornitholestes, if I can get close to it. With the blue on the crest and the speckled black body. It's not a perfect representation, but it's pretty close, I think. I think that's actually very nice, very beautiful skin. There's a mod that makes a Liplorodon into the Walking with Dinosaurs version that's more updated. I have seen that, Dinosaur King. I don't think it's very good. It's not high enough quality for me. It's not good enough, basically. Plus, why do you want a Liplorodon-sized version? You want it to be Kronosaurus size, and you can already do that. We are using imagination here. And by the way, all of the enclosures, I'm going to try to match the episodes. So the sauropods we saw sort of, there was a forest area that they were using, and then on the plains there was basically nothing but the ferns. So something to mirror the ferns. That might be a bit too much. Let's try a different brush. See, that I don't think is enough. Nor is really that. What about too many flowers? No, I think we'll go with what we picked originally. There's the sort of the fern prairie that we saw in the episode. And yeah, I think we'll have both the Brachiosaurus and the Diplodocus. Wow, how many other species do we need to fit in? Ornitholestes is done. The Aloes is done. Stego needs one. We've actually got quite a lot of land here, so I think I might just have the Diplodocus in here, actually. There we go. I've also completely hidden, pretty much, the enclosure from the path using trees and bushes. So really, to get the best view, you are going to have to go into those lovely grandstands there. Just want to put some trees over this side, just to try to sort of frame what we're looking at. A little bit of a photography tactic. And we do need to make this look a little bit more realistic as a sort of rock ridge line. So, a few stones and boulders, just to make it look a little more realistic. And I think maybe a few trees, just to improve that effect even more. Just a couple of bushes and a couple of trees. This particular tree set doesn't really have any water-like plants, so it's a bit limiting in that way, but we'll do what we can. There we go. That works. Added some artificial depth to the water by giving it a nice texture underneath. Yeah, I think that works. I rather a Liblorodon than a copycat. Gaming Doggo, bro, I wish consoles had mods, because I've never used them and I'm dying to. We actually spoke about this the beginning of the stream, Gaming Doggo. It's a question raised by somebody else in chat. I can understand why console players do get annoyed when people who stream the game, like myself, play with mods that they can't use. I suppose it must seem quite unfair. But the way I see it is I'm showing what is possible with the game as it is. Plus, a lot of good park building is not dependent on mods. A lot of good park building is dependent on doing things that mods don't help with. You know, having a nice laid out entrance area, making sure you have nice wide path areas for your guests, using different path colors to highlight different areas, making nice looking enclosures with lots of height difference and lots of seating areas around and such stuff like that. It's all stuff that modding only adds to, but it doesn't sort of, if you take away the mods, you don't lose it either. If you stick to some good practices, your parks will look just as good as parks that are very heavily modded. You just got to take your time with it. I quite liked the idea of using a Lagoon viewing gallery here for the Allosaurus enclosure, so you sort of have the upper level, and then you have the much closer, up-close ground level. I do like using galleries like that for your carnivores. I think it adds a certain something. Actually, I have a question for those in chat. I've been thinking about buying the new Hogwarts game. The one that's causing all the fuss, essentially. Would people be interested in seeing that on our channel? I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think. Because obviously if you guys are just like completely uninterested, then I probably won't do it on the channel. Why is it controversial? Gonna get me demonetized by, well, we're not monetized yet by YouTube anyway. It's controversial simply because of J.K. Rowling. She's made a few silly comments, shall we say. And tall fruit. Need tall fruit trees. She's made some quite controversial comments and people don't like her, basically. Tall fruit. Yeah. The problem is that some people are sort of saying, oh, well, if you buy this Hogwarts game, then you're supporting someone who thinks the same things as J.K. Rowling does. Which I think is a very dangerous perspective to have. She's already made her money, you know. It doesn't matter what we do now. She's already one of the richest women in the world. So all you'd be doing by boycotting what looks like a game that's been made by a small studio, but has been made, you know, it looks absolutely brilliant. It's clear they put so much work and time and effort into this. And all you're going to do by boycotting the game is you're going to lead to the closure of yet another great studio who doesn't deserve it. Not to mention, in this day and age, it is impossible to, you know, separate bad stuff from a company. If you're going to use Apple products, or if you're going to use Microsoft products, or if you're going to watch Disney movies, if you're going to pretty much buy anything, you're going to have to accept that you're buying from countries with terrible human rights issues. You're buying, you know, you're watching a movie made by a company that, you know, was founded by a guy who basically supported the Nazis. Yeah, Walt Disney was not a nice man. So you can't separate companies from terrible stuff, really. If you want to live in this day and age, you have to accept that some companies have a shady past. That some people may say stuff that you don't like. That's not me defending anything she has said, by the way. I think some of what she said is incredibly stupid and narrow-minded. She obviously has a right to say what she thinks. But what she thinks is wrong. But that doesn't mean the game company making the game should be punished for it. Because it's not their fault. They just want to make a good game for the gamers. Now, I think for our enclosure with Stego and Brachiosaurus, I'd quite like to try to create a separation between this side of the park and this side of the park. So I think I'm going to have this as one large enclosure, and we'll probably use a gyrosphere ride, I think, to connect the two areas. So let's try and figure out what I'd like that to look like. I think we could have a seating area here. Yep. And potentially one here as well. Maybe? Or do we sort of try and create a couple of... no. Yeah, let's just have another seating area here. And then let's grab the gyrosphere ride. Whoops. Now, do I want it straight on, or do I have it at a slight angle? Really, because of the thinness of this area, it's got to be sort of here-ish, really. Let's not have it straight on there. Let's have a little bit of a path that sort of goes up to it. Don't ever do things straight. Thank you, Dane. My lovely partner there, trying to be funny. Okay, and I think we kind of, for terrain, I think we need to do some terrain work in here. But let's figure out the fencing first, I think. So, strong fencing, since we're going to have very large dinosaurs in here and potentially quite dangerous ones. And we want it to kind of disappear into the tree line. I think I'm actually going to make this part of the tree line a bit firmer in terms of its angle. There you go. Something more like a rock ledge than a gentle slope. You can top it off with a sort of gentle slope, but that's a bit better. That way it kind of acts like a natural barrier. What we're saying is this is a natural barrier stopping anything getting past. We'll hide that end of the fence there. And then this one, almost impossible to do the same thing here. So we'll actually give this one some lining down the side. Do you think Jurassic World Evolution 2 will get more than 2 DLCs in the future? Like what Evo is suggesting with sort of having another... I can't remember her video entirely, but I think she was sort of on the idea that we were going to have possibly another 4 this year. Later Therazino, thank you for joining. I honestly don't know something. They've confirmed we're going to have more this year. Okay. However, for me, it's that use of language which is the same thing that sort of Evo pointed out in her video. Sort of what we consider the meaning of throughout and what they consider the meaning of throughout. 2 entirely different things. I think we'll get at least one more big DLC because that'll be the 30th anniversary. I think we'll get another dinosaur, creature pack. Beyond that, I don't think we're going to get much. I think by sort of October of this year, I think we will have had everything we're going to get. That's just my personal thought on it, because I can't see them supporting this game much beyond 2023. I mean, they say it's been, it's a good financial, a good financial winner for them. But that's not entirely true. When the game came out, they were disappointed by the lack of sales. And yes, sales may have gotten better now, but they're still not above Jurassic World Evolution 1 yet. Kind of sounds like flogging a dead horse. Yeah, they need to do... It's not whether they add more content that's the problem. Is that they need to add the right kind of content. They need to add content that is not half-assed, basically. And they also need to add content that kind of corrects some of the problems the game currently has. Right now, there are some really big issues the game has that it's had since day one, and they just haven't dealt with them. And I kind of feel like they're messing around, focusing on the wrong stuff. Meaningful content, yeah, exactly. Meaningful content, stuff that actually adds to the game. It's not just more bloatware. As nice as it is getting new species, we already have enough. I would take a DLC that sort of adds more building sets or adds aquatic animation sets or adds more decorations. I would pay for a DLC that does that. But a DLC that just adds 4 new creatures that will probably contain copy-pasted animations from the others and will probably be barely used in my parks because they're not very interesting animals. I'm not sure that I would pay money for that. It certainly wouldn't be as worth it, in my opinion, as something that focuses on an area that's lacking in the game. Again, that's just me. I know there are lots of people that were mega happy when we got, you know, the other Camp Cretaceous species, and people that were mega happy to get the Dominion stuff. Personally, I couldn't give 2 shits of a what's it for the Dominion stuff. I think it was a terrible movie. The worst of the Jurassic franchise. The worst movie I have seen in a long time as well. So I really don't care about getting the animals from it. Stuff like the Dimetrodon, the Quets, the Giga. Yeah, they're nice to have, but I don't really use them very much. So kind of pointless for me. I was quite disappointed with the Malta DLC as well. I think they could have done a better job with that. I'm curious to see what they might do, if anything, for the 30th anniversary. I've been actually trying to think of what they could do so I could do a video on it. But I'm really struggling to come up with any sort of ideas for a DLC for the anniversary, because everything that you would kind of expect has already been done, or we've already received it. The only things I think that could be added are either stuff from the novel or potentially stuff from other Jurassic Park media, like the Telltale game, for example. But I'm not sure they have the rights to that, so I don't think they would be allowed to. I hope they give us the Sauropod from the Jurassic Park 3 novelization. I don't remember its name. I didn't realise there was a different type of Sauropod in the JP3 novelization. To be honest, I haven't read any of the novelizations of the films. I mean, I've read the original books, but not the novelizations. 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, the gyrosphere kind of needs to cross the path. Same on this side. I mean, I do think at some point we'll see the hybrids come back. I think the Spinoraptor, the Ankylodocus, the Stegoceratops, I think we're definitely going to have them back. Just because, you know, they already have everything there. They have the models, they have... It seems unusual for them not to bring them in. Plus, they know loads of people love the hybrids, so it would be a really easy way of them earning money from it as well. Personally, I think they should have been in the game from the start, but it is what it is. Actually, I think we use the Malta wall pieces to mark that side off. What we do need to do is have some fencing to protect the entrance area. Like that. We'll again hide the end of the fence line. We'll make this ridge a little bit more substantial, so it sort of looks like a much more substantial sort of defense from creatures getting out. Because something that's sort of that steep, no animal would really want to climb it, especially not a sauropod. Sorry, let me just have a slurp of drink. Dane says, my theory is new challenges, a few quirky character interactions, a dino mod pack, and that'll be it. Going for the cynical approach. I hope we finally get an expansion fully detached from the films. I definitely want that. I agree with you, something. I think the film it's about time we got something that's not based on the movies or based on the TV show. I want something totally original from them. Because at the end of the day, yeah, we all like the movie stuff. We like the TV stuff. But there's so much more you could do with the material that is not limited to those films and those movies and that TV show. So, you know, put some effort in, Frontier, and give us something unique. My thoughts on Frontier aside, something original would add a lot to the game. Just adding some terrain height difference here, just because I want this bit to look a bit enclosed. So we've got sort of an artificial ridge line there. I'm going to put in some more stone there. So that looks a bit more substantial. Put in some water. A main water source down here. And this is kind of similar to where we first see the Stegosaurus in the Walking with Dinosaurs episode, where you have that sort of river that runs down that valley gorge. We're kind of recreating the same thing here, slightly. And then we'll have another water source. I think probably. Okay, let's have it start here. Whoops. Maybe not. You know what? Let's just have one at this end. Against the cliff face here. And then we'll have another one in between these two. Like that. And then we'll make this one a little bit more substantial. There we go. Yep, that's good. Trees. Just along the ridge line and on that side as well. That way it matches the environment behind this ridge, so it looks like it's one continuous formation. Mix up the types of trees in your forests. Adding a few ginkgos really does help. Forests are not all one or two types of tree. You do get completely different varieties inside. Just helps to make it look a bit more realistic. Obviously, if you're building on a desert map, you won't have trees, but I do like to use the ginkgos on desert maps, just for a bit of greenery. Those desert maps can be so boring. I feel like we should have like a savanna biome, like something with big baobab trees and stuff. I'd love to have a placeable baobab tree. Baobab trees are cool. Go, put a few down here. And close that end and this end, just to make it look like a natural spring, something like that. Africa expansion with a savanna biome. That, I mean, that's a very good idea. I suppose the only problem is that a lot of the African species we already actually have in game. I think there's one or two we don't, but most of them we already have. So we might be a little low on animal content, but you know, some savanna maps, some African-inspired decorations, an African-inspired facility building set. Yeah, would be really cool, I think. Okay, if I remember the episode, the whole bottom of this valley where the Stegosaurus was is kind of covered in like a shale. So I'm just going to use this as my mock shale. And then to give it a sort of a grey coloration, I'm just going to put some of the rock texture under it or over it. This is actually a very good way of actually adding more colour and texture variety to your parks. Turn down the intensity right down low. Just quickly tap with the brush you're putting over, and you actually get quite a nice little effect. And that's actually now looking a lot closer to that sort of grey shale that Walking with Dinosaurs had for that particular episode. Now, there were a lot of trees around as well. So we need to find a way of adding those. And of course, it's not going to put any in, is it? I swear the tree brush in this game is appalling. It is so bad. It just doesn't ever do anything when you want it to. Put in some of my lovely ginkgos along the edge. Like thus. That's a bit better. Robert Bobabzarkle in German, it's called ape bread tree. That's an ape bread tree. That's quite an unusual name. The two land species from Africa that we don't have would be Rogops and Atlasaurus. I mean, Rogops would be good to have because technically it's part of the Indominus Rex DNA, so it would be nice to have that in-game. As for Atlasaurus, I think the problem with that is that it's a bit... there are too many sauropods that are too like each other. But it is definitely an African species, so... I just need to run a ring of invisible fencing around this central rock formation, because otherwise our Stegosaurus and Brachiosaurus will try to climb up it. And that will just look so stupid. So, I'll put a ring of invisible fencing around. And we'll try to hide it as best as we can. I mean, personally, I would love to see Saltosaurus come to the game, just because it's one of my favorite sauropods, and also it's a dinosaur, a sauropod that had legitimate armor on its back, like the Ankylodocus. Only it's not a hybrid, you know. I always found it a bit strange that we got the Ankylodocus in the first game. It's like you gave us a fake armored dinosaur, but you didn't give us the actual armored dinosaur. Why would you do that? But there I go, just trying to be logical again. Everyone knows that Frontier just doesn't know the meaning of the word logical. South America expansion, Brazil and Argentina map, Saltosaurus, Irritator, Pterodastudo, Pliosaurus, South America Mayan building set. That would be a dream. Ew, it sounds pretty cool, something. Pretty well thought out. Personally, I think we have enough American dinosaurs in-game. I would love to see some other continents getting more species. And if Frontier were willing to put more non-dinosaur species in the game. That would open up a huge range of more countries they could do, because a lot of European countries, their fossil beds are sort of Eocene and Pliocene and Ice Age. So if they added more non-dinosaur species into the game, would certainly help us get those creatures in. I think I'm going to have to add some more invisible fencing. In order to stop our dinosaurs from escaping. I'm pretty certain if I do that and stick now if I move that one with the move it mod, that essentially forms a stoppage and they won't be able to get out of that. We do a petition for more sauropods. It used to be a close relative of Brachio, but more material was found and now it's its own sort of thing. Well, Brachiosaurus itself is not completely accurate species, so... oh, I need to have... Just remembered, if I'm going to have a double layer fence here, I'm going to need to actually create that. This curve M piece, we'll cap that off with some decorative rocks again, just to hide the endpoint. And a few trees and bushes as well. There we go. And now the actual gyrosphere gate in and out can be hopefully there and there. There we go. One. And two. Right, and then this gyrosphere track will have kind of get as close to there as possible, and then we'll have it go over this way, sort of around there. Not too close to the water source because we want to give the dinosaurs plenty of space. And here we'll have it basically follow the edge. Not too close, we want to be able to put some trees and stuff in there. Down into here. And again, we'll have it follow the outside. Go in a bit here. Come across. Give some space for the water. There we go. Right, and now it's just a matter of adding the rest of the foliage and stuff. Oh right, yeah, the fence, the other fence line. Through the water. I wish these invisible fences were a bit more invisible. I really hope Kaedenic gets his invisible fence mod fixed soon. Just because I really miss those invisible fences he had. Because they were actually invisible, you know, you didn't have a horrible, obvious line where they all were. There we go. That's good. Happy with that. Leave that bit open. Have a few more trees at this end, so it looks like this is forested as well. Good. Have some ginkgo in here, just because ginkgo actually plants. Good. And then we have sort of a little open area there, a little open area here, and a sort of open area here. Hello, Node Guy. Welcome to the stream. How's work going? I know you're at work. And hello, Glitzbog. Yeah, the stream's been going all right. We've got quite a few. I was worried that actually this would be quite a quiet stream because obviously it's a weekday and I didn't think lots of people would be around. But actually, it's I've been joined by quite a few people, which I'm happy about. Streams are always nice to do and people show up to them. By the way, folks, me and Nerd Guy have recently done a video ourselves, doing a retrospective review of Jurassic World, which is ready to go. Nerd Guy is designing the thumbnail for me, because he is an artist, and I thought it would be nice to see some of his work on the thumbnail, so... When that video comes out, do give it a look. Right. Ah. Let's have some... I kind of like the idea of having flowers over here. Just a nice, like, flowery area. And this is kind of a mixed... Yeah, that works. We need to obviously stick a few rocks in here to cover up this. Thanks to Move It mods, just hide these completely. There we go. Same over this side. And we'll just use some nice soft sand over here as our kind of entranceway. We'll put some manual trees in there. I think we'll also put a statue or two, just to make it obvious what they're going in there to see. And we'll probably line this this side of the fence as well with the bushes. How are our aloes doing? I haven't seen them since I put them in. There they are. There's our Allosaurus. Again, Allosaurus is another one of those dinosaurs that we really have trouble with getting a walking with dinosaur skin. This is as close to it as I think you can get with the base game, which I believe is Svalbard with Pulkrana. You get like the red crest that it has and the grey on it. But that's probably as close to a Walking with Dinosaurs version you'll get without using mods. And thank you, Jacob. I'm glad that you do like watching the videos even though I use mods. I do try to always give people sort of hints and tips they can use, whether they use modding, you know, mods or not. I do my best. Honestly, you should see my Skyrim playthroughs. They're far worse for mod use. This is nothing really. There we go. Statues. We need Stegosaurus and Brachy possibly. Let's go down. Where's the steg? There's the steg. There we go. And Brachiosaurus, which is, yeah. That's good, I think. And we'll basically do the same with this end when we start designing that end. Let's get the animals in there. We'll start with the Stegosaurus. Righto, nerd guy. Don't work too hard. Brachiosaurus is another difficult one because we don't really get a very good look at the brachy in Walking with Dinosaurs. The closest I think we can get is Svalbard with Calcorana. That's as close to it as I think we get with that. Although my favourite Brachiosaurus skin is probably the Jurassic Park 3 one. I like the Jurassic Park 3 brachy with that sort of watermelon-esque skin that it has going on. It's one of my favourites. I do generally think, though, that Frontier did a very bad job with the Sauropod skins. I think they were very badly done. A lot of them are not very decorative. A lot of them were lacking in colour. And I know there's quite a few people that like sort of realistic coloration on the dinosaurs. I personally am of the belief that dinosaurs are capable of having colour and it not look bad or too extreme. That works, I think. That looks good. Yeah, okay, so we're going to use the Malta fence pieces to actually sort of create a divide between where the gyrosphere is. And we're going to actually put a couple of towers just on the edge. Actually going to move that one manually. There we are. And then we're going to do the same over here. Nigersaurus has very nice skins and realistic ones as well. You know, they're not overly colourful, but they have some colour and they look decorative. They have some very nice patterning to them. I just don't understand why they failed to basically do that with any of the others. Damn. We'll hide that gap. And that's actually a good tactic for your own parks. You know, if you have one of those awkward looking gaps in a sort of design or in a paddock or a path or something like that, instead of trying to correct it, try to find a way to cover it up. You can actually end up with some very nice and interesting looking areas by just sort of covering up your own mistakes or little oddities. Yeah, I think that looks good. I think we'll actually put some trees down here as well. Nice. Yeah, that's turned out really good. Good, I like that. So there's our walking with dinosaurs-esque brachy. You have the sort of red patterning on the head and the belly that the dinosaur has in the show. And then you also have the sort of greyish blue. Hello Turbosoul, welcome to stream. Thank you, Fallout. They spent too much time on the models and not enough on the textures. I agree something. Are you annoyed when the terrain level is messed up a bit, but there are no contour lines? Yeah, that really annoys me, Jacob. It really frustrates me when it does that, because you can't tell until you start building the park and then you see your path is all messed up and it's like, what the hell is going on? It's really frustrating. You are not alone there. Actually just gonna create 2 more Brachiosaurus. For our Brachiosaurus area. I'm gonna just investigate what these guys eat, just to make sure. They eat tall nut trees. Tall nut. Ah, tall nut trees are basically just... the seed plants thing. So we're going to have to do a little bit of forest changing here to add some seed plants in. The paleobotany system in this game also really sucks. They've done it in such a stupid way. Like, the mod I have makes the paleobotany system work a little nicer, but it's still really dumb. Like, forest need only counts with you using actual forest. Like, the ginkgo forest doesn't count. Like, what? Why would you do that? That's such a strange design choice. There you go. So we've got some patches of seed plants either end. That should help with that. Do you also bring the dinosaurs from the special episodes? Yes, we're going to. That's why there's a big area here for the specials. Tarbosaurus and Therizinosaurus will go in here. The ice forest area might need to be expanded because ice forest, we've actually got 3 that we need to put in there. But we're moving on to our cruel seas area now, pretty much. Now, I initially wanted this to kind of be the lagoon structures, and then they're separated off by sort of ridges, but that actually really hasn't worked very well. So I think I'm going to do it the other way around, and I'm going to have the ground lower than the level of the lagoon. Which, thankfully, is something that you can use to quite good effect when you have it on PC and you can use the mods. So basically, this will be the Ichthyosaurus, or the Ophthalmosaurus paddock. This is going to be the Crippleclidus paddock, which we're going to use the Plesiosaurus for. And then this is going to be the Liblorodon paddock, which we're going to use the Kronosaurus for. And it's going to be pretty much one path going around this area. Pretty much. So they're going to come down these 2 walkways. It's going to combine into here, and then this will be the area. And then we'll probably have like a guest zone on this side, because there's also this path coming down here with some education buildings and such, so we can use this as a guest area. This zipline idea might feature into that, not sure yet. We also need to add the Eustriptus spondylus. So, right, how far down do I want to go? That was potentially too far down. It'll... Oh, hang on. If I have a question. If I downloaded a modded animal and use it in a park and then uninstall it, what happens? Yeah, the animal will either disappear, but more than likely your game will just crash. It will refuse to load in. Yeah, that's fine. I might have a bit of a walkway that goes this side around the Ichthy Lagoon, just so we can have the standard galleries around it. There we go. Might do the same for the Crippleclide. That end is a bit meh. But we can have a bit of a walkway that kind of goes around here, I think. Yeah. You love this game, don't you? No, Turbo Soul, I don't love this game. I actually think this game is quite bad. However, just because a game is bad doesn't mean it's not playable. I wouldn't say that this game is fantastic. It's a very playable, well made. I say well made. It is well made to a point. It is well made to a point. And it does what it set out to do. If you take it that what it set out to do was to create basically Jurassic World Evolution. The first Jurassic World Evolution game was basically a beta, basically, you know. It is what this game should have been, or it is what this game is what Jurassic World Evolution 1 should have been. But they probably weren't sure it was going to be a success. They weren't sure if it was going to, you know, work, be a brilliant game. So they gave us basically a beta. And when they realized that actually no, we like this sort of game, then they decided, oh well, we'll make a proper version. Maybe I should continue the lower section around and have like a proper ridge here. We'll leave that for the time being, because we need to get some viewing galleries into here. Oh, we need the Stegosaurus as well, don't we? Debating if I want to get Horizon Zero Dawn, says Dino Army. I've only ever heard good things about it, but it is just another Ubisoft sandbox game. No real different to, say, Assassin's Creed. Alamo and Dread are the only big sauropods I like, so probably Dread 2022 would be Dread. I don't use the Dread. Even now we have the 2022 version. The Alamosaurus is just so much better. Stegosaurus, where are we? There we are. So Stegosaurus is another one that is very, very difficult to get a good skin from Walking with Dinosaurs. It's probably the one that I've had the most trouble representing, just because it's such a complicated skin. Papurana, Mangrove and Papurana was the closest I managed to get, pretty much. Try and spread the stegos out a bit. Right. Viewing galleries for the Lagoon. I think the Jurassic Park ones work the best. And what we're going to do is we're going to just let it snap to the edge like it does. And we'll put one sort of... Let's have one there. And another next to it. Like that. And then we sort of have like an aquarium sort of style. And then if we do the same over here, so actually might be worth thinking about the decorations we're going to use. I've just thought about that. Okay, so let's add this type of lagoon viewing stand there. And then decorations for the sides of the lagoon. Well, actually, the first thing we need to do is put the food in. Piscivore, fish feeder. One fish feeder. 2 fish feeders. And decoration. The sails for the ichthyosaur. Maybe the pillars? No, the pillars are a bit too substantial. We want something simple for the ichthyosaurs, so we'll go with the sails. We'll line it up where we know that it's straight. That's straight. And then we'll make use of Chiodenics mod just to put them in properly. Make sure that the fish feeder is kind of in the middle. Yeah, just like that. And then I think what we'll do is we'll do trees along this edge. Yeah, that looks nice. Blimey, chat's busy today. I have a question. What sort of thing would you like to see in expansion that will probably never be done? I'll answer that in a second. Pachyrhinosaurus is not here, Jacob. Personally, I want to see a good story and manual tax evasion. Interesting. Glitzborg Stegosaurus with beak looks more cute and less creepy than the one with the snout. I found a cheap Steam key for Horizon Zero Dawn, only $14. That's pretty good, Dino. So, an expansion that would probably never be done. You know, Expansion. By expansion, do you mean like a dinosaur pack, or do you mean like a full-on big... big full-size DLC? Big DLC. So I've always had in my mind this idea for a Japanese-inspired DLC. Where you have a Japanese Jurassic world. You bring in the Japanese animals. Because there's quite a few Japanese species. And then you could have a lot of Japanese style decorative items and building sets, and have some very decorative Japanese maps as well. I mean, I'd love to be able to get like cherry blossom trees and stuff in game, because that'd be so cool. And I actually think that's what they should have done for DLCs all along anyway. I actually think we should have had country-specific DLCs. Japanese expansion, where you took a loan from the Japanese Yakuza and now you're in danger and the plot revolves around you trying to make money from the park to pay off the Yakuza. That's a very imaginative idea, something. I mean, another idea would be to have like remake the Doctor Wu hybrid, DLC. Bring back the hybrids. Bring back some of the maps from the original game. Updated, obviously, for the new version. But bring back some of the old maps. Bring back the hybrids. And add a aquatic hybrid and a flying hybrid. And maybe expand upon that story. Maybe go whole hog with the hybrid weapon idea. You're actually succeeding in making weapons, and the military want you to make a few more and have that sort of thing. The only reason I would be more against that idea would be that we'd end up with just another facility set as opposed to a park-based facility set. And I actually, it kind of frustrates me of how many building sets we got that are just aimed at building facility parks rather than actual nice parks. So that's the only problem with that idea. For me, anyway. I know quite a lot of people do actually enjoy building facility parks. How far over would that have to go? Quite far. Okay. A remake of Doctor Who's Secrets with new maps based on islands around the world would be a cool idea, yep. Hello Aiden, how are you? Oh, no worries. I hope I'm assuming the power is back now. Food. Obviously, the big old chrono requires shark feeding. Where do I put the second one? Pretty sure they eat fish as well. I'm actually going to get rid of that one and put in the fish feeder. And then I think for Liblorodon, since it is the big bad guy, we'll make a stadium design. By the way, if you folks haven't seen my video I did some time ago now, but it's always a topic that I think is worth talking about how to make better lagoons using the decorations. There are quite a few videos I've done looking at that. So do check out those videos on the channel. I need to put one up here. Basically, this is what I call a stadium design of Lagoon. You use the decorations to sort of enclose the area around it. So you kind of feel like you've got stadium walls. And what we're going to do to improve the effect is we're going to actually use bits of monorail to improve that. Why can you only bring the streams at 9 PM or how late it is at your place? So yeah, we do start at 9 PM. The reason we start at 9 is because we used to start earlier, but no one ever used to be around. And I asked people whether they would prefer streams to be later in the day, and the response was basically yes, we would prefer streams to be later. So that's why. It is also so that it doesn't conflict with my moderation duties for Evo. Right from Berlin, nice. Always wanted to go to Berlin. Ah, another Irishman. Dane is from Ireland, Jacob. Yep, I'm happy with those. Whoopsie daisy. Am I the only one who really hates the sticky cursor thing they've done for the, when you're inside the lagoon? Like, it's so frustrating now, trying to even get out or into the lagoon now. I wish you could turn it off. I wish they had just done it as like a setting where you could just have it on or off. Bloody annoying. Yeah, exactly something. It's really annoying. And I know they've done it in order to, like, make it easier for people to decorate their lagoons, but now it's just annoying to even try to get into them. Frontier do make a lot of weird choices. Well, I think most game companies make a lot of weird choices, especially at the moment. It seems to be a hallmark of being a video game company that you make very peculiar choices with things. Don't like that. Need to think about what to do with that. Okay, let's do this bit down here first. Actually, let's do this. I think I might change the color of the path here. No, we'll stick to the grey. We'll stick to grey. Anyone like Pokemon S and V? I assume that's the new Pokemon games. I don't know anything about them. Pokemon was one of those things that when it was all the rage at my school, it just kind of passed me by. I was never interested. Dane, I think Dane has some of them. And our former member Vice, he used to absolutely love them. But I never got hooked. Not sure why. Bollocks. Oops. Excuse my French. I was going to make this doubly thick, but I actually think I won't do that now. Mostly because I want to try to get some palm trees in here. And for that to work, I'm going to need space to plant them. I have a strange obsession with Diglett. Good. I don't know what to say to that. Before the Mortar DLC came out, I was thinking about how they would end it, and I came up with a weird idea of a shootout between the underground and the authorities. And Cabot Finch was stuck in the middle of it and dies, and it would be like the end of the character arc started in Jurassic World Evolution 1. Wow, killing off Cabot Finch. I mean, I wouldn't complain. I'm not a massive fan of the character. It would be quite a fun ending. I mean, it's one of the things I am kind of disappointed about when it comes to this game is we didn't really get much of a story. We didn't get much of a campaign. I was extremely disappointed with what they came up with for the base campaign. I would have liked something more substantial and more interesting. Instead, we basically got a tutorial. Which kind of sucked. That's good. Right, is it going to let me place down some palm trees without kicking up a fuss? Oddly enough, yes it is. Palm trees just are a lot more lagoony, for want of a better term. That being said, the episode, if I remember correctly, most of the islands have sort of more chunky trees on, so we'll try and give like a combination of that. Still probably add a few ginkgos here and there because ginkgos are the best plant in this game. Yeah, that's a bit better. What do all CEOs want? Money. Yes, they do. All CEOs just want money. Pretty much. Imagine how cool a redemption arc would be. Does Cabot need redeeming, though? Like, did he really do anything wrong that needs redemption? I didn't think he did. I mean, he's not a nice character, you know, he's a bit of an asshole as a character goes, but he's not terrible. He's not like Dodgson. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed that we don't really have a bad guy. We don't have an antagonist to our game at the moment. I'm not sure on this. It's very untidy, and I don't like untidy. So I think this whole area might get rebuilt. So next stream on Sunday, we might come back and find this whole area rebuilt, as I struggle to try and find a way to make it work. How are our dinosaurs doing? Yeah, Brachy's are okay. Our Stegosaurus, they're doing all right. I'm wondering if we should put like another species of dinosaur in here from the episode. Well, I've used all of the ones from the episode. How many mods have you made? So I just make the path mods, and there are, I think, 5 versions. At some point, I want to go back and just make a better version of like the wood one and make some adjustments to the ones I already have out. But I'm pretty happy with all the path mods as they are. Apatosaurus on the big... Ah! That's a good point, Rob. I forgot they'd added a Pato. Ah, now, Apatosaurus. Trying to remember. The Apato in the special was kind of green backed with a sort of strange mottling over it. Probably... No, if I remember, Chaplain Valley is quite green, so... Bright green with black details. Which black though, Rana or Paul Grana? So I thought the detailing was more sort of a whitish cream colour. Africa expansion. Imagine for money, Cabot Finch buys land in Africa and realizes how bad the world is, becomes a moral person and gives all his money to save the people of the country. It's got a sickeningly good... And it's definitely not within his character. Just going to have a look at the Apatosaurus from Walking with Dinosaurs. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's green with a cream striping, although it looks kind of black as well. Yeah, let's go with the black. Let's see how these come out. Playing too much Red Dead Redemption 2 got me expecting a good story. And okay, Jacob. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining the stream. Don't forget to subscribe, like, all that stuff. Everyone else, don't forget to subscribe, like, and all that stuff as well. And goodbye something. The Apato will probably be the last dinosaur of the stream anyway. Oh, that's close-ish. Close-ish. Oh, we've actually gotten a fair amount done. We've gotten our exhibits on the go. We've got... we built our entire tour area. Actually, we haven't got that much done. Considering most of these enclosures were made, all we had to do was make dinosaurs, we really haven't got that much done. Oh well. It happens. But yeah, it's looking good so far, I think. I just need to figure out how I'm going to do the Cruel Seas area. Because at the moment, I don't like this. So I'll be restarting that. Anyway, let's just get these dinosaurs in there. God, they take so long. What's going on here? Why aren't you moving? Why is that one not... Oh, that was strange. Anyway. I'm just going to quickly switch to nighttime so you can have a look at what it looks like in the dark. So here's our entranceway. I've gone with sort of soft orange lighting for the roots down and blue lighting for the ocean areas, just because it really helps to make stuff stand out. Got some nice lighting over here around the fountain. I didn't want to be too excessive with decorations since I don't want the park to be full of crashing and stuff. I went with a sort of ultraviolet blue for the Lystrosaurus exhibit area. I haven't even checked that these guys can eat. Probably should have done that sooner. And I don't think I've really done anything with around here. I think it looks pretty good in the dark. Let's have a look. That's pretty good. I quite like that. Yeah, obviously we'll have to go around and do some alterations with lighting and such. Probably want to be adding some lighting to outside of here as well, so we can really accentuate those sauropods. But yeah. Nice. Good. Well, I think I'm going to leave it here, folks. Thank you, everyone, for joining me with this impromptu midweek stream. I'm just going to save this in here. There we go. There will be a stream on Sunday. I will also poke Dane and see if he's going to stream on Friday. And yeah, we'll continue with Jurassic World Evolution. And there's going to be streams every week on Wednesdays, same time. Playing more Jurassic World Evolution, probably, for this month. So do tune in for those and keep an eye out for our videos too. But until next time, enjoy the rest of your evening, folks. Stay safe and goodbye.